says you are not more intelligent than the two chambers that passed this bill into law. You were not around when we passed this bill into law. You didn't even know anything about the bill. We were the one who conceived this. And we put them in writing for you to be able to implement, so at this city we meet the standard that is required. Above all, I see no reason, and it's inexplicable for any administrator to tell me who administers an agency like you, saying that you employ just about 200 people or so, after how many years? It's enough to throw you out of the window. All of you should pack and go. You have performed woefully. If nobody can tell you, well, light and light, sakana Allah, you have not done well. I'm telling you, you didn't do well. You didn't do well, Mr. Chairman. We should tell them they didn't do well. There are millions of graduates roaming the street. You are not employing them. You are saying that you want people with first degree for a first class. Do all of us have to have first class to be here? I didn't have a first class, but I compete far better than people with first class. So you do not use first class certificate as a condition to employ people. Now you say all your people, the people you are bringing, are people of first class. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. There are great Nigerians who never made first class in the university. So you cannot tell me that will be your yardstick. Mr. Chairman, I think there's a need to give them a matching order. This document you have presented to us is rubbish, it's inexplicable, it's unacceptable. There's a lot of contradiction in your presentations. How do you explain it? FCT is next to Lagos. In terms of revenue base, it's next to Lagos. You are sitting here for how many years and you are performing woefully. You are talking about giving us what a local government, what a local government will record for a year. And you think we want to celebrate you as senators here? Yeah. There are former governors here. There are former administrators here. Whoever have appointed you should be told in a clear term that you have not done well. And it's against the Nigerian nation to keep people like you here. It's against our nation. We want this city to be good. That was why we passed this bill into law. That was why we established FIRS. But you have not met up the standard.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I like the opportunity to sit in front of very highly experienced people to answer questions, and it helps me. What I'm saying, sir, yesterday, the last time I came here, I explained to you why we could not recruit. And because I told you the salaries of public service that we met was so low. A deputy director for us is going to receive 163,000 a month. So we embarked and got approval from the board and the minister for a separate salary structure. No, that's what I'm explaining, sir. So it took the ministry, and I explained to you last time, 2 years the ministry did not send it to Salaries and Wages Commission. The minister, after repeated pressure on the permanent secretary then, and they couldn't forward it because a structure in the civil service, permanent secretary writes on behalf of the ministry. So they didn't send for 2 years.
Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I'll call you to order, please. What is the 1 billion naira to FIRS stated in your 2021 budget proposal meant for? That's all we want to find out. If anything else, we can ask you other questions.
Okay.
Go straight to that question.
What I'm saying, we have in our employment 117 FIRS staff with all the computers, with all the offices, with all the generators and vehicles. They gave us 10 vehicles. We just intend to disengage them this year. In April, we have a program which I gave to you to do our unemployment in April. This month, inshallah. That's what we want to do so that we can replace the FIRS people. We are not paying them because they're collected. We are paying for their staff that we have used to help us collect. We have 130 people in the service today. 117 is from FIRS, sir.
So are you trying to say it's meant for that?
Yes.
For 12 months?
Yes.
Can we have the details of the 1 billion, please?
No, we just have an MOU that will pay them 2%. But we are not going to pay, sir. Never paid, so we will not pay, sir. We have never paid. We're just making provision. We will not pay.
Well, I think I attended the earlier session. FCT, FIRS, and inland revenue, I think supposed to be, even in the FCT, it's supposed to be even stronger than FIRS. But to be very honest, FCT revenue services is not visible. It's not visible. And for 4 years, you've been relying on FIRS. So why don't we take over the powers of FCT, IRS, and give it to FIRS to continue, so that they can do better? No, wait now. Wait. No, I'm telling you, because the performance is very poor. And we keep talking. Last year is the same thing. And we are saying the same thing again now. And they will say the country is poor. We're looking for money. And then those people that are reposed with the responsibility to do the needful are taking it for granted. Giving us talk. Most of us here, some of us are chartered accountants here, financial experts. This is enough to indict FIRS, FCT-IRS. This is enough to indict him. And in a decent society, as a boss, honestly, you will tender your resignation and go. We can't continue doing this thing. Every time we are talking, our country is going corruption, and we are not trying to check what is causing that corruption. It's wrong. As a stakeholder and as a legislator, I have a stake, and I'm saying it. The performance of FCT-IRS is poor. And Mr. Chairman, we as a body, we must take a decision. We can't continue to be sitting here being fooled.
The Chief Executive, please, I think the question is very clear. Incidentally, I wasn't here yesterday for obvious reasons. I came here. So far, from the way you were responding to questions, I was personally impressed with the way you were answering your questions. I was impressed, honestly. But then this particular single question of how did 1 billion, answering the question, what did you use that in? And you said 2%, and we've been able to find out that 2% does not translate to the amount they collected. You now came with another factor that you are paying for the staff. Are these staff people, are they not paid? Do they not have their salaries? Are they not paid salaries? Are they on contract? So I think you have not offered a very satisfactory explanation to this single question the chairman asked you.
Mr. Chairman, sir. With the sources of revenue here, the sources, it looks like the organization does not have appropriate grasp of the sources of their revenues. This is the page I'm referring to. I don't know if you have it. It's just one separate page in the budget. You have it?
It's an attachment.
Yeah.
Check inside out.
Is there? Have you seen it, sir? Yes. Have you seen it, sir? Okay. If you look at the sources, the sources of revenue are itemized here. If you go to item number 6, okay, pools, betting, lotteries, gaming, and casino taxes, approved revenue was 800 million. Nothing was realized, okay? That means that that item is not even supposed to be there, because from the beginning, you know that you cannot even realize anything from that angle. And if you have not been able to, if it is there and you have not been able to realize anything, we need an explanation of why you have not been able to realize anything there. No, sorry. Then we'll go down, road taxes. I said, is there anything like road taxes? If there is no provision, if there is nothing like road taxes, why should it come here as an item under your sources of revenue? Okay, that's why you have blank there. Then when you go down, go to naming of street, the 0 there. Right of occupancy, no budget. No budget, there was no budget, but at the end of the day, okay, you received over 200,000, but you did not budget for it. You received over 200,000. And you now say that the performance was 0. How can you say the performance was 0? Where you did not budget for something and you got something, the performance cannot be 0. Then go down to right of occupancy fees on lands owned by whatever. You did not budget, but you realized 546,000 or million or thousand. Then you say the performance was zero. That cannot be zero because it's like coming from nowhere to this 546,000, so it's not zero. Then property tax, you didn't make any provision, but you realize 509,000. You say zero. It's not zero. The entertainment and event center tax, there's a 1 billion. You have approved the revenue was 1 billion. Okay, actually zero. Okay, but how did you come about this provision for entertainment and event tax, event center tax of 1 billion naira, and at the end of the day you realize nothing, which means that cannot in itself be a source of revenue. And if it is not a source of revenue, why should it be here? And if at the end of the day you believe that it's a source of revenue, why is the performance zero? Where FCT, that's number 15, where FCT finance is involved, 000. So if it is 000, it means that in itself is not supposed to be there as a source of revenue. Unremitted withholding tax is 00. Why is this 00? We need all this explanation. Then you now came to orders, number 17. You have orders as 100 million. And that is approved revenue, 100 million. But when you come to actual, you've got over 228 million, which means that this in itself is a significant source of revenue. And what are these orders? What is the composition of these orders? If you have 000 under some of these columns, okay, under your main columns, you have 00. Then you came to orders and you have 100 billion here, provision, I mean, you're estimated, and you got over 200 million. That means that in itself is a significant source of revenue, and we need to know the breakdown of those revenue sources. It shouldn't be categorized as orders. These are revenue sources that you need to develop. We need to know what this constitute, the orders constitute. Then, of course, the federal revenue collection, you say the approved revenue that is estimated is none, but they got about, actually it's about 3.1 billion. I mean, and you now say performance is zero. I don't understand this, please, from accounting perspective. Meanwhile, you also mentioned because of your, because me, I will soon take my leave. Mr. Chairman, let me just, because I have my committee meeting now. You said you are going to buy some properties. You intend to buy some properties. The chairman, executive chairman, I don't think buying of properties for your offices should be a priority now. Please, we need as much money as possible for FCT to undertake various developmental projects. So I don't think we should go into major capital expenditure of buying properties. Continue to lease these properties until you stabilize. That, I think, is the rational way to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, distinguished.
And I totally agree with my colleagues, because I'm sure the chairman of FIRS knows we've had issues on this for so many times. This is very, very, very disappointing. I've said this so many times. For FIRS to sit down, for Abuja IRS to sit down here and they say they are collecting 75 million, 80 billion a year as revenue, and you think that is something to gloat about. It's an embarrassment. It is an embarrassment. After 4 years, I was in Ogun State when we started at 700 million. We went to 7 billion a month revenue with the chairman of GRS. It is an embarrassment. I mean, 70 billion, and then last year was 70, this year 70, and you are saying half of it now, FIRS is the one that collected it for you. So what are you doing? So we sit down in the office, and then you are waiting for FIRS to now collect for you, and then you now take your 2%, and then your salaries get paid. And we talked about this last time. We sat down with you, we said, okay, whatever help we can help you, wherever you need people, we brought in whoever we can refer to assist you. If you don't have the capacity, just say you don't have the capacity. It's not everybody has the capacity to start a company. Basically what you are doing here, we've given you a vehicle to start a company and run it and generate revenue. And if you don't have it, just say you don't have it. Please, we can't be sitting down here and then Abuja, I mean, everything is the money that everybody, nothing is happening.
Mr. Chairman and members of the FCT-IRS, you could clearly feel the pulse of the committee. Like I've said, by far, the other day, when you appropriated 5.3 billion and you spend less than 800 million, it's a clear indication that no activity had taken place. A whole year. You were given that budget, to be precise, maybe January 6th? Was it January 6, 2020, when you presented that budget?
15%.
And it's not that your revenue for any fiscal year is already available, 100%. So you had your money, 5-point-something billion, already available to you, but you did not take, so if you come back and pass the blame to somebody else, then it means you are abdicating your responsibility. So this is the fallout of your inability to take charge of what you were given. Your budget proposal for 2021 speaks the same way. Because I don't know if we can give you 8-point-something billion and still come back next year again and say you have only used 1 billion. Because from all indication, this is what is going on. 2021, today we are April 1st.
Yeah.
And which means you have completed 3 calendar months and you are still at ground zero. So what confidence would you give this committee that in the next 9 months, you are going to expend 8.9 billion? So with these few remarks, distinguished colleagues, may I, at this point, suggest that the chairman and his team should take their leave. We will look at their proposal, and then if there are any adjustments or issues that will come out of the proposal, we'll make it known to them. But by far and by unanimous decision, the performance of FCT-IRS for 2020 and the better part of this year is below satisfactory level by this committee. So we thank you for coming. The Zoom? Move for the Zoom.
Shola.